TikTok versus Instagram Reels. That's right, the competitor to the platform that was crushing it in 2020. We're going to be talking about that, debating which one you should be on, which one you should commit to, because that is the question. We've got Brock Johnson, an Instagram influencer, entrepreneur, helping business people grow their influence. But more importantly, for today's discussion, he's a TikTok crushing content creator. So he's going to be debating with me why he thinks TikTok could still be the one to commit to that's going to continue growing. I'm going to be talking about Instagram Reels and why I think it's going to come out on top. All that and more here on the VI Show coming up.
This video is brought to you by vidIQ, the #1 Chrome extension for YouTubers looking for on-point data analysis, research resources, and enhanced video creator tools. Start getting more views in less time today by signing up for free at vidIQ.com/influence. That's vidIQ.com/influence.
That's right. My name is Benji Travis. Welcome to Video Influencers. We're helping build your influence, income, impact with online videos. Sean Cannon and I, we started this channel to help you crush it right here on this platform. And we're the co-authors of YouTube Secrets. So make sure you pick up a copy. There's a link down below. You can get this on Audible as well on audiobook. So without further ado, we're going to be talking about TikTok versus Instagram Reels. So Brock, thank you so much for being in the studio.
Thank you so much for having me here. I'm excited.
So we're going to be talking all about TikTok versus Instagram's new offering, which is Instagram Reels, which I personally haven't really got into. But one of the reasons why I even want to have this conversation and a debate to a certain degree is because they're really pushing it. I went on one day and I was just like, flipping through. Every single one was a Reels. Wow. It was like an algorithm just like force you like one time, look at all Reels. So no images, no regular videos. And that is what all these platforms do when they have a new function, right? I just never seen it done to this degree. But before we get into it, Brock, tell us a little bit about yourself and your history with social media. And then obviously, we can start off this conversation of TikTok versus Instagram Reels.
Yeah, totally. Well, I'm Brock Johnson. I am a 23-year-old former college football player. And while I was in college, I built my online business. By my sophomore year of college, I was earning a 6-figure income, teaching other business owners, other entrepreneurs how to grow their own brands using social media. And really, my background is in Instagram. So I have a lot of experience with IG and stories and all that stuff. But then back about 2 years ago when TikTok was just released and starting to kind of grow, I hopped on the platform, ended up going viral with a few videos and built a following of almost 300,000 on TikTok. So I have this influence on both platforms. So I have a really cool, I think, perspective of what both can be. Yeah,
and when you jumped into TikTok, was that pretty early on in TikTok's, like, in terms of like generally the masses, right? I know that TikTok and Musically originally were kind of like already big before the masses. How early did you jump on, and then what has it been like from then to now?
Yeah, so I think that TikTok released sometime in 2018, the switch over from Musically to TikTok. I got on in late 2018, so it was still pretty early. That's early. In the whole TikTok sphere.
Yeah, for sure. And I personally, I lost my name to the transition. I was on Musically for a while because of Gary Vaynerchuk's like, you got to get on it. You don't know what. And he was right. That's what's so crazy. He was completely right. I mean, TikTok in 2020 is the #1 downloaded app, which is nuts. But secondly, I feel like there's just so much more conversation about it than any other platform in a very long time. Obviously, people are still using YouTube, right? Instagram is still, widely probably the most used, generally speaking. But TikTok is on fire. But because of everything that's going on, we're going to be kind of going back and forth. Obviously, TikTok is really popular right now. But Instagram Reels just came out. And I think the third aspect, if you didn't know, TikTok has already been banned in different countries around the world, India being the most significant. But there's talks of it being banned here. And that is the big question. And this is why Instagram Reels, which if you're not familiar, Instagram Reels is the competitor function of TikTok on Instagram. And so we're going to get right into it. But for the sake of this video, you're going to represent TikTok. I'm going to represent Instagram Reels. So give me the case. Why is it that people should really still consider TikTok? And what are your first initial thoughts on why it will still compete, if not beat, Instagram Reels?
I think that Instagram has a big track record of kind of taking over apps or defeating apps. You know, if you're Instagram, I could have sat here and been Vine and been taken over, or Periscope, or these different apps. I think what sets TikTok apart and why it has the opportunity to still compete with Reels and stick around is because of their algorithm. The TikTok algorithm, they've spent billions, literally billions of dollars invested into making their AI, their behind the scenes, their algorithm so advanced and so predictive that it's highly addicting. Yeah. And it's like, I say that half funny and half like, it's kind of serious how addicting TikTok is. You'll get on it, and if someone's watching and they haven't downloaded it yet, they'll download it and they'll be on for a couple hours today and a couple hours tomorrow. Yeah. Because the AI and the algorithm is so skilled at knowing what you want to see that it keeps their people engaged.
For sure. I agree. And even though I don't use it very often, like even when I was checking out your TikTok, I was definitely engulfed in all your TikTok. That was interesting. I didn't even have to go anywhere else because it's already entertaining from the format, right? But then when you get into the kind of suggested feed, I don't even know what it's properly called, it will like consume your attention, and it's really quick, right? And you can go from one to the next without even really knowing. It's automated anyways. So they always talk about how this can be addicting on YouTube, and they talk about the autoplay function and having that power to turn it on and off. But on TikTok, it doesn't even seem like it's an option. It's just like, hey, if you're here, you're going to get what we give you. And especially with so many people being at home, it's huge. Anything else that you'd want to like follow up on that first comment of like the algorithm, to reinforce why you think TikTok is where people should be?
Yeah, I think that it's because on TikTok, there's really only one form of content. Unlike Facebook, where there's 50 different kinds of things you can post, and now on Instagram, you can do videos, carousels, pictures, stories, live, reels. Like there's so many things to do, and that's a big complaint.
It's as if it was owned by Facebook.
Yeah, I know, right? Exactly. But that's a big complaint for Facebook, and I could see that being a big complaint for Instagram in the future. TikTok has really primarily only one kind of content, and that's the TikTok videos that are highly engaging.
I'm so glad you brought that up because I wasn't even expecting that, number one. But two, people forget that simplicity, like Snapchat at the beginning, right, was one of the places that had something fresh, something new. That younger crowd really liked that. And it was partly because of that simplicity, right? That we didn't have with Facebook at the time. Even Instagram was starting to put new functions. But I think that's a great segue to that first point, which is Snapchat. Insta stories crushed Snapchat. And I remember I was on Snapchat. And so just to give you guys a little context, I've been on Instagram since 2012, built an influence. I've got about 700,000. No, it's not like 450,000 followers on there. So I run a business on YouTube, but still do deals on Instagram as well. But I jumped into Snapchat, not super early, but early enough where I was getting about 60 to 100,000 snap views per snap, right? I forget all the lingo. But I did transition over to Insta stories. I have to get all these terms straight. And I do remember Insta stories like slowly gaining traction, right? And I was double uploading, but now I'm all in because Instagram stories. And that's my first argument. I do believe that experience is really important to note that they went right up against Snapchat and they won. So they already know how to do it. And I think in the very beginning, obviously, is a little bit rough, but they learn as they go. And I think Snapchat is still around and still significant for like a niche audience or tribe. But man, it's like an afterthought. Like people don't even really think. So what do you think about that? Because that's kind of like that experience will be very valuable for competing against TikTok.
Yeah, I absolutely agree. And I think that's a really great point. I had a very similar experience myself, starting on Snapchat, growing a large following there, and then seeing Snapchat kind of fade away and transitioning that to more of Instagram stories. And I think a few things that I would say is, number one, Snapchat views themselves first and foremost as a camera company, rather than an actual social media like Instagram or TikTok does. But I think a big part of the reason why Snapchat really faded away and Instagram took over was the influencers, right? You know, the celebrities, the creators.
Yeah.
And I know Instagram really tries to do the best they can to cater to the creators. And there was a lot of, I think the first one was one of the Kardashians, like or the Jenners, Kylie Jenner, announced she was leaving Snapchat. And that was a big blow to Snap.
For sure.
And really helped Instagram stories. So it'll be interesting because there are definitely TikTok celebrities now, people who have mega followings on TikTok. Sure. And I think what they decide to do in terms of do they stay on TikTok or do they go to exclusively on Reels, I think that will be a big determinant of which platform sticks around. For
sure. I mean, I watch some news stations here on YouTube, Phil DeFranco being one of them, and he just reports on the industry once in a while, right? And one of the big ones is obviously talking about TikTok, and he's rattling off some of these stars. I've never seen their TikToks. I don't know who they are, but obviously they're mega influencers. So it's significant. This world is so big. And that's one reason why I always emphasize to people here on YouTube, there's 2 billion logged in users monthly, probably way more now, but there's still 4 billion more people on the planet, and it's going to always be growing. So the potential for any platform to have an audience is there. Even Snapchat is still relevant for a lot of people. But the real question is TikTok versus Insta Reels. So another kind of argument I have is, you know, I believe TikToks appeal, and this one I really want to hear your opinion, is the view count. People are getting on there and they're getting tons of views, and people always hit me up, say, Benji, you should totally be on it. I go, why? I would just ask, like, straight up, no context, like, why? And they're like, well, I just did this and that. And, you know, I'm not even an influencer. I'm getting this many views or whatever. So one thing I want to get straight, because this has happened before, and it was Facebook that did it. Facebook kind of inflated the numbers. Now, they were still views, but they were counting the views of people just swiping by, right? You know, on YouTube, there's a certain threshold. I believe it's like 3 to 5 seconds. But like, you have to watch a significant amount of video before it's counted as a view. But on Facebook, in the early days, just like swiping through like was counted. So it made you think that Facebook video was where it's at. And then years later, it was proven. There was articles and they had to fix all that. And so the views never were the same. And I know this because my wife, who has 3 million plus followers on Facebook, was killing it with Facebook video views. But we've never had the significant engagement and even, I guess, like brand sponsorships on Facebook. I think partly because people know like YouTube's views are legit views. So TikTok, I want to know what you think about this. I believe TikTok in a way inflated the views because it's so easy to quickly go through TikTok. What do you call them? A TikTok upload?
Yeah, just like a TikTok. Yeah.
That even if you get that view, it might be just someone swiping through it. You get what I'm saying? Like, I don't know if they had that threshold, like a certain amount of time. And it's already 15 seconds. It's so small.
It's so small.
So what do you think about that? And the reason I bring that up is Instagram could totally do this too, right? Like with Instagram Reels and that pull, I think people like, wow, this is a new place, new opportunity, and I really want to grow my influence. Whether you're a seasoned influencer or someone brand new is really enticing, and I think Instagram could do it. Do you feel that in a way those views don't really represent contextual consumption of that?
Yeah, so I think that's a really interesting point. And with TikToks being so short, I'm sure their threshold is really, really low for what counts as a view. I will say, when I first went viral, I had 300 followers at the time. That video went over 1 million views, and it got me to over 200,000 followers in like a night. So the people who were watching the videos were also pressing follow. Now what I've noticed is you can still have a lot of videos go viral. You can still have videos get millions of views with a little following. But not as many people are actually converting from just a viewer to an actual follower or subscriber on TikTok. That's what I've noticed recently. So that's the first thing. And the second thing is that on Reels, actually, I was speaking to someone who works at Instagram yesterday. And he said that they are pretty much trying to inflate the views on Reels by counting it as a view if you view it in Reels, if you view it in the feed, or if you share your Reel to your Instagram stories, and it just plays a little preview of it on your Instagram story, that counts as a view as well. So anywhere someone sees it, it counts as a view. They're trying to inflate those numbers.
Now, good or bad, like it actually doesn't really matter, because ultimately it's like, what kind of engagement, what do you actually create from it, right? And like you said, the followers is a big thing, but now you're seeing not as many followers. That's very normal with any platform. Like that first tribe of the niche early adopters, they very much like following people because like this is our community, right? When it's smaller, that's how it was in the early days of YouTube. But then as time goes on and it goes to the masses, people don't even understand that concept of following yet. They're just like on there getting entertained. They might be uploading, but they're not really taking it seriously. Again, like you get all these people that get into it for these other motives rather than wanting to be part of the community, wrong or right. So that's interesting that you even have contacts. And I mean, that doesn't surprise me. So the reason I bring it up, it's not even to talk about YouTube, but this is why, again, YouTube has always been the king of the hill in terms of attention. Because when you go onto YouTube, you're like mentally committing to, a minute, 2 minutes, 5 minutes, 10 minutes, sometimes like half an hour viewing session. You might do that over the course of a whole day for TikTok, but you're not getting the same kind of connection with that creator or that influencer or that business person. The engagement is way less. So tell me about that, because I'm completely like not knowing. What is engagement like on TikTok versus Instagram for you specifically?
Yeah, so for me specifically, and what I've kind of learned across the board is that if you have a mega following, you're one of those big celebrities, of course, you'll have an engaged following as well. But a follower on TikTok doesn't necessarily what it represents in terms of value on Instagram or like a subscriber on YouTube, because on TikTok, the primary place where people are consuming content is the For You page. And the For You page, yes, has people you follow, but it also has any video that the TikTok algorithm thinks would be good for you.
For you,
That's the main page. The secondary page is the actual page of people you're following, but most people spend their time on the For You page. So that means like if someone's following you, it doesn't necessarily mean that they're going to be watching all of your content.
And then, so once you click on that video for you and you're going through the feed, I actually feel that's where people hang out the most. Like they keep watching everybody's TikToks. What are they feeding you? It's just all people that you follow, or again, whatever the algorithm thinks is good for you.
It's what the algorithm thinks is good for you. That's what I said earlier about how like addictive it can be. Is if you watch a couple of videos and like a couple of videos that are, for example, about dogs. The next thing you know, you'll be getting all dogs. And then let's say it can get so specific that maybe you only like videos of Frenchies, like French bulldogs. It will only give you videos of other Frenchies. It's super specific in all of the data points that it collects. So the For You page is where most people are spending way more of their time.
And that's, I mean, to me, it almost just sounds like a drug, right?
Really, it is.
It's like, it almost doesn't even give you choice, even though you do have the choice. But again, when they know exactly what, and it's just enticing you. We always talk about the chocolate and the carrot, right? In the YouTube world, at least like information. Oftentimes people want the chocolate because it's the thing that's most delicious in our world, like whatever they feel will give them the most benefit, right? Or like is a hack or the shortcut. That's a chocolate. The carrot is the real stuff, the principles, the things that are kind of underlying, that are kind of boring, that are classic, but you have to do it. The hard work, the hustle, the consistency. And so when they're just giving you the chocolate over and over, it's hard to stop. I love milk chocolate. I could just eat it forever. I can go from milk chocolate to like chocolate ice cream, and like it wouldn't bore me at all. So I don't think that's necessarily a problem. It's something you have to really consider. But going back to the whole point, though, I think Instagram will do the exact same thing too. So one of my arguments I have is Instagram Reels right now, they're saying it doesn't work as well, right? Some of the functions aren't there that TikTok has, but the functionality of Instagram Reels being in there, and of course they can learn how to add those functions, is way easier for Instagram, and they've got so much money, so much capital as well. So I think that is something to consider, because even though TikTok has it honed in for this one format and they've got way more functions. I've even heard like you can't even use certain sounds or download your clips off of Instagram Reels with the sound because maybe copyright. But again, that's a different philosophies that you have to also understand too, because TikTok and where it comes from. What do you think about that? Like, do you feel that one day, just like Instagram stories, Instagram Reels can catch up, if not surpass, especially if they crush TikTok?
I think that the usability and the actual interface of using Reels will become very second nature. It will become very easy and understandable because it's really quite similar to stories.
Yeah.
It's kind of like if stories and Reels, or stories and TikTok had a baby, it would be Instagram Reels, at least in terms of like the buttons and how to use it. So I'm sure it'll catch up.
Yeah.
And we just kind of, it's the natural growth of social media that we'll figure out as a society how to use Instagram Reels. I will say though that TikTok has solved a lot of those issues already in terms of music, copyright. A big one that I hear all the time is people who have a business account on Instagram, which as a business owner, you probably want to have a business account. They don't have access to the music feature. And so that's a big problem. How can you create a reel without music? On TikTok, there's no such thing as a user who doesn't have music. That's how the platform works. So there are some challenges, some hurdles that Instagram has to overcome that TikTok overcame years ago. So that's why they right now have a leg up.
Yeah. So, great point. I mean, it's true. Like what makes TikTok great is I think like where Musical.ly really won, which is the music aspect, the sounds, right? Their niche wasn't even necessarily the creating of a certain type of video. It's the fact that it was related to using music. I'm to this day probably why like maybe I don't get as many Instagram story views as I once was. I never use music at all. I'm not even thinking like that. But on Musical.ly, it's like you can't even really do anything. If you do, it's really hard to keep people's attention, right? Because like the music is part of it. I mean, I just have everything on silent when I'm using my phone. I just don't like the sounds, everything. But would you say the average user on TikTok always has their sound on, like listening to music?
Absolutely. It's rare to find someone using TikTok without music on. It's like you said, so integrated to sound and song and music. And
that's where I feel like Instagram just falls short, because the way Instagram worked was just pictures. You never had to have sound, right? So right now, as far as I know, I believe most of the things are like muted, or maybe that's just for me because my phone is muted, but you have to tap to like listen to sound. So like that's an extra step versus when you're watching TikTok, it's like you're going in there for the songs. And that's kind of what has that appeal, right? Like you're doing your dances and stuff. So any other points, because I got a couple more points to bring up, but anything that's coming to your mind in terms of like TikTok's dominance and why they will stay on top?
Yeah, I think that just in general, TikTok is really, kind of going off what we were just talking about. It's driving the music industry. Old Town Road, everyone knows that song. It has the record. Has the longest time spent at #1 on the Billboard charts. Like #1, Goodbye Michael Jackson, Goodbye Drake. Old Town Road by Lil Nas has the record for the most weeks spent at #1. Old Town Road credits a lot of its success to TikTok.
Really?
TikTok is very much right now driving the pop culture, or the pop music industry. Like if you look at the top 10 songs in the country, in the US at least, they're probably also the top 10 songs on TikTok. And it's really that TikTok is feeding what's popular in the music industry. And so I think that that's another reason why a lot of like music creators and creatives in general are flocking to TikTok, because it is driving the industry right now. Because the music is such a big part, so they're picking these kind of catchy songs to do their dances or these skits, right? I feel so old because I don't even know how to describe what's going on over there, but basically your 15-second little smash up of videos is it's on top of a song versus a song being on top of your video, right? Oh, thank you. So on that note, though, you talk about the music industry, and they've been struggling forever just because of Napster and free downloads. They're not getting a proper cut. I actually buy all. I'm so old now, and it's weird because that was a new thing like 10 years ago. I buy all my songs on iTunes just to give them something, right? Because I feel like they should benefit from me. I do use Pandora, but again, I use it to find new music.
talk about making money. So whether you're a musician or artist, how many people are making money on TikTok directly, right? Whether, I don't know if they've got some kind of ad format there that they share like YouTube, or if it's all brand deals or people selling things. Tell me about that, and then that compared to Instagram.
Yeah, absolutely. So I think that brand deals and selling things, like promoting your own products, are the primary driving force behind the income of people who use TikTok. They don't have very many ads on the platform right now. Oftentimes when you open up TikTok, you'll see an ad, and that's the only ad you'll see the entire time on the platform.
But do they share that with the TikTok creators?
As of right now, no.
Okay,
no, they're rolling that out in the future, but right now, no. But there are lots of people who are musicians and have had songs suddenly end up on top charts, and it's their first song they've ever released, but it went viral on TikTok. Also, of course, just like any other social media platform, people are using TikTok to grow their business, promote their products, their courses, their books, whatever. But they're not actually doing the paid advertisements, which I think is actually a reason that TikTok might have a leg up on Instagram.
Okay.
Because a lot of people are complaining about how many ads they're seeing on Instagram. I know that for me, when I scroll through my Instagram feed, every other post is a sponsored ad. Which on one hand is nice because like those are great products, but on the other hand, it's like I don't want to see that many
It's not
ads.
nice. Let's be honest here. No one wants to see an ad, right? That's why I signed up for YouTube Premium or whatever, so I don't get ads. But my question then is, and so if you guys don't know Brock, he actually helps entrepreneurs and business people on Instagram, and probably like even building influence on TikTok. So, you know, one thing that Sean and I believe, and this is a big deal because it wasn't really like this maybe a decade ago, but you can start a YouTube channel right now. And if you're super focused and of course putting out valuable quality content, and you're doing all the things to optimize, if you got a business model, you can make money on YouTube in 6 months. You can make it through AdSense. It might not be very much unless you're getting tons of views. You could be selling a product. You know, you've got digital courses as well. Like between those three, like you can make money. And I'd say like within 6 to 12 months, you could be surviving, right? And so the threshold for full-time pay is, you know, not really that high, but still that's a big deal. Like if you're completely jobless, there's a lot of people going through that right now, or their business got hurt, you could commit. And Sean and I do believe you could do it. Now we always say commit for the long haul. Could you do that on TikTok? Is that something? Tell us if you've got any examples or case studies, or even just stories you've heard about people getting onto TikTok and actually making money, whatever way it is, at least as long as directed or related to TikTok.
Yeah, absolutely. So first of all, one more way that you can actually make money on TikTok, I think there's a live component of YouTube that's similar, where like someone who's watching you on a live stream can donate kind of like a tip type
for
of
sure.
thing. So they have that on TikTok as well, where creators can literally just go live and their fans can basically give them tips, give them money. But in terms of case studies, we have a woman who I've worked with recently. She has grown her TikTok following in the last 2 or 3 months, just a couple months, not even a full year yet. Over 50,000 now, and she's made over $30,000 this month alone selling coaching and selling her book on TikTok. And I know that people who are watching, especially if they're business owners, are probably coming into this conversation and like, okay, Benji and Brock, like, isn't it just dancing? Isn't it just like choreography? Don't you have to be super coordinated or goofy, whatever? It's not. She does very little dancing. She is a great dancer, but she does very little.
What is she teaching in her courses?
It's, I believe, relationship advice. She does some branding stuff.
Okay.
So she has videos about like her ex-husband, her new relationship, and then also she does branding as well. So she has tips for branding and colors and logo. So that's all included in there, but she's not doing a ton of dancing.
And so she's not doing anything else anywhere other than TikTok. Like all her efforts are there. She's not running ads on Facebook or doing YouTube videos.
I don't think she's on YouTube.
Okay.
I know she's on Instagram, but her primary platform where she posts 5 to 6 videos a day is TikTok. She spends like 6 hours a day, she says, creating content for TikTok, and it's working for her.
Good. And so she's converting to in her TikToks. Like she say, hey, go download my course here.
Click the link in my bio, or go to this link, or go to this URL, and she is converting like crazy.
So, you know, to TikTok's credit, that is the power of that algorithm, because it's funneling you down to the most extreme, like addictive stuff that you're into, right? And some people it's like self-help, right?
Yep.
Or motivation or entrepreneurship. So you might get on there because of a viral dance or your buddy is putting out something fun or whatever. But as you're scrolling through, that algorithm, every swipe is testing you, right?
Yes.
Like it's like, what does this person really like? So like a 1 second view versus 3 seconds, and okay, let's bank on this 3 second. What was inside of this? And so that doesn't surprise me because of course, when I go into TikTok, even this morning when I was looking at yours, it was almost all dancing kind of stuff, right? And that's kind of what I know it for. But I also am into food, so I know that there's a whole world for it. So it's only a matter of time before you kind of get to what. And this is why, like people like Gary Vaynerchuk say, you need to put out this content that works on other platforms onto TikTok, because even though it's not widely known, anybody that's on there, if they find it, they kind of attach themselves to it. Is that kind of what's happening in terms of monetization and these business models?
Yeah, absolutely. Like we talk a lot in the business world about niche and knowing your audience. TikTok's algorithm puts you in front of your ideal audience, and you can use hashtags or whatever on TikTok. But if you're someone who's really into personal development, and you teach about personal development, well, the people who are also into personal development, they will find your video because of the TikTok algorithm.
By the way, one thing we didn't plan, but I would love, because I want to learn some of these tactics. Can you share with us some of the best practices on TikTok before we end this? Okay, cool. So only other point really I have has to do with the state of TikTok. And I do believe this is where Instagram is going to win, right? And so we called this Instagram Reels versus TikTok, but it's really Instagram against TikTok, or Instagram, unfortunately, against China's policies. And that's what I want to bring up. If you're not familiar, in fact, Nuccioli, go ahead and put my screen on. I don't know if I still have the article up on my other screen. But right now, TikTok is going through some trouble on some of their policies. By the way, kind of just accusations based off of people's assumptions about what's going on. So I don't want to state any facts. But TikTok is kind of based off of like in China, and the fear is the policies of the Chinese government to basically have transparency in all your data is going to make public to them our data, right? Or viewing habits or whatever. And so there's this fear. So the American government right now is considering banning TikTok, like straight up, like you can't use it, can't download it, whatever. So if you still have it on your phone, maybe it'll still work, but like there's not going to be any updates or whatever. So people are going to have these probably ghost phones or VPN phones, right, for TikTok. And if that happens, Instagram Reels is going to just dominate. And that is my number one case here. And I actually had this fear about TikTok because I'm very, familiar with, the policies of the Chinese government. Nothing against China as a country, right? I love Chinese people. I have friends that are Chinese. And of course, Chinese culture is a big part of American culture. But it is one of the friction points. So that being one of them. And then secondly, the out to that is the offering to American corporations, right? One being Microsoft, one being Oracle. So what's interesting now, Walmart's getting into the game. None of those three, even if they buy it, have a good track record with social media platforms, right? So the fact that it's about to get banned, and even if it gets bought up, it's getting bought up by these entities that don't really know that much. So it's kind of like still the same scenario, Instagram against whoever buys it out. And it's going to be a split up. So what are your thoughts on that? Because one, on the policy side for the government, no one can do anything about that, right? Even with all the VPNs in the world, that's just a hard way to grow, because it's going to be easier just to go to your app store and download Instagram than to like go look for a different way to get TikTok. What do you think about that, between that and obviously even these corporations buying it up without a good track record?
I think that, first of all, I really hope TikTok doesn't get banned. I was interviewing a cybersecurity expert last week for my podcast, and she gave me a really interesting insight. And that's that Facebook is way more unsafe than TikTok. So a lot of people worried about like the data that TikTok is collecting and illegally selling or just that is getting leaked. Facebook is way worse in her opinion. And I think I would agree with that. But ultimately, that doesn't matter if the government decides that TikTok is gone, which they already did in India. And last year, India was the country that had the most downloads of TikTok.
Yeah.
Like way more than any other, way more than the US or China. So that was a big blow to TikTok.
So my question is, what did those India influencers do? Where did they go?
I'm guessing to Instagram or to YouTube, but I don't know where they went besides, but now that they weren't on TikTok. But if that happens in the US, even if they get banned and then, Microsoft or Oracle buys TikTok, then definitely I think Instagram would have the upper hand and Instagram would win in that battle because like you said, those apps don't have those companies don't have a great track record with social media. And if it gets banned in general, then bye-bye to TikTok.
One thing I want to do is get into that whole data issue, right, with Facebook. Because I actually do agree that Facebook takes just as much of your data and then they use it for things that you probably don't want them to use it for. The big difference is there's really no incentive for them to share it with our government. I highly doubt that's happening. In fact, I think like Facebook, that would be suicide that if that ever was happening. The difference is in China, it's kind of forced, right? Like they want and whatever. And like what's going on with Hong Kong and all that, it's very transparent and open. It's out there that that's what they do. But again, like to be fair, TikTok has said the data stays here in the US, right? It's completely separate. They don't want to attach themselves. The last thing I'll say too is TikTok is just not in a good place right now. Their leadership, that guy that came from Disney just kind of bailed with the whole policy talks as well as who's going to buy. So I feel like the users are there and the creators are there, but with that instability and that uncertainty, which there's already enough of that in the world, it's just not really good. Instagram, it's American. They have no policy issues. Obviously, they are being talked about, like, the data protection and privacy issues, but still, like, it's there. It's on everyone's phone, right? And you don't have to download anything different. Thank God, like, because before they were trying to get you to do IGTV and Instagram, like they're integrating everything, and so it's just like whether it's like one of the buttons down below. So, what do you think about that? Because at the end, that's kind of like the culmination of our conversation, that Instagram is just in a much more stable place, and the functionality will come over time. The fact that it's already integrated is what I think is going to help it get a leg up.
I would agree. I absolutely agree. I think it has that foundation. Everyone is already on Instagram. Everyone already knows how to use Instagram. It's way more popular in America than TikTok is, even though TikTok's being downloaded like crazy. Everyone's already used to Instagram. We've been on it for years. And so I would absolutely agree that I think that in the long run, Instagram Reels will probably overtake TikTok.
Woo, you just heard it from the guy debating for TikTok. And I actually kind of already knew that, so I feel like this was a little unfair. So after all that being said, let us know, who do you think is going to win this battle? Is it going to be TikTok or is it going to be Instagram? We want to know in the comments which platform you're going to be kind of committing to. Now, with that being said, I want to give some shout outs. We got Michael Groff, we got Maricel Canoy on here. Thank you for being part of the VI Members Club. By the way, we're going to be doing a Q&A, but that Q&A is exclusive for people watching live, and the replay is available only for the members. So hit that join button down below if you want to get access to that. But let's talk about some of the best practices, Brock, if you don't mind, because one thing I love about creating content, even on YouTube, a lot of the principles are universal, no matter where you go. So bring us through what are some of the best practices for TikTok specifically, and if you had to relate it to like how it could apply to Reels if they do ultimately end up winning this battle.
First of all, I would say, and this is a great hack for content producers to save time, produce your content on Reels, save it, and then also upload it to TikTok. Because it's going to be the same content going both ways. But if you took it from TikTok first, the problem is TikTok adds that watermark to your video up in the top right and the bottom right and top left. They add that little like logo, and then there's the logo at the end. So it's kind of like, it's not native to Instagram. But if you take it from Instagram Reels and put it on TikTok, it looks just like it was recorded in TikTok. So that's a great hack to save time. But best practices for TikTok or Reels is, number one, having multiple cuts in your video, or multiple like words or phrases that pop up. Basically just adding more to that short window of time. It can get people's attention drawn in a little bit more and can keep them engaged and even watching your video over and over again before scrolling on to the next one. So multiple cuts, multiple words.
And so not just one long video.
Yes.
It's like making sure you splice it and make it like kind of a story of sorts, which is normal for anybody that was on it from back then. But if you're a new user, you might just put a straight video and call it a day, right?
Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So even if I've taken, I've done this split test myself. I've taken a dance and I've done it as just a 15-second clip. And then I've broken it into like 3 5-second clips or 5 3-second clips. It does way better when it's chopped up into those individual segments. That's one tip.
Okay.
Also, just look at what's already trending.
Yeah.
TikTok is known for producing trending songs, sounds, choreography, dances, movements. Just recreate with your own version of what is already trending. I think that's a great way to, go viral and really win on TikTok or Reels for that matter. And then also the overarching theme of your content, and this is true, like I guess for all social medias, would be to produce shareable content. Produce content that adds value, that is teachable, that it's serving your audience, it's gonna motivate them maybe in some way, or is just captivating. But produce shareable content and ask yourself, what's something that you would share? And if you would share this piece of content, then it's, I think, a great piece of content to go on TikTok or Reels.
Wow. I mean, it sounds like you teach this stuff, Brock. That was like perfect. Like if you literally just took that little segment, we probably will, by the way, like put it up just as its own video. Like it would probably give you such a good leg up. I love the whole tactic of creating on Insta Reel first and then going to TikTok so that you can just, I think that's really important too right now to kind of like go on both.
Yeah.
Ironically, I probably won't do that though, because I really do believe Instagram Reels will be, and to me, this is how I look at it too. Instagram, I didn't mention it before, but Instagram is really like pushing it. They're really forcing Instagram Reels. And I went onto Instagram, I'm just scrolling through and I just realized I was only looking at Reels. Yeah. I thought, hey, this is an algorithm. It's weird. Like I have this weird relation with the algorithm because I love it when I know what it's doing. And like, I'm like happy. I'm like, wow, this is like a signal here. They're forcing people to watch it so that you create on it. Yep. And secondly, they're really making it so that anybody that's on TikTok that's nervous about it being pulled down, or someone that maybe hasn't committed and like just about to go over there is like, hey, I can do this right here. And at the beginning, that's when it's the hottest. What I noticed is the speed at which people migrated from everything else to TikTok in 2020, it's happening like that right now with Instagram Reels. Yeah. People are like, oh, this is my opportunity. Like if they feel like they missed the boat on TikTok, which I don't think they missed the boat. I think you can still be big, right? Because of the algorithms nature, but Instagram Reels, so many people are like watching it and producing on it. And that's when you know it's like gaining some traction. I would argue more so than Insta Stories did. See, Insta Stories really took it took some time. And even me, I was kind of questioning. I was like, they're just trying to compete against Snapchat. But I did stuff here and there, right? But Insta Reels, I feel like partly because you can tell people are downloading their TikTok and putting on Insta Reels. Yeah. Like and that's what's crazy too. There's a whole library of years of content they could just put onto Insta Reels. Exactly. So, I mean, like every reason. So what do you think about that? Yeah. Because that is like, it's basically, who cares what the difference is? If you're just on Instagram and you want to go from like looking at your feed to, hey, I'm going to get that TikTok experience on Reels, way easier than downloading app if you don't have it, or two, going to that app and being in that world. You know?
Benji, I can tell you this. Exactly like you just said. I have 2 years worth of content on TikTok. I've posted like 40 things, 40 different clips on Reels now. Only 2 of them were actually Reels. The rest, the other 38, were just TikToks that I posted on Reels. And it saves me so much time as a content producer. But like you said, Instagram is pushing Reels like crazy. Yeah. I've posted, like I said, a little bit less than 40 Reels so far, and I have well over 1 million views, closing in on 2 million. I have multiple videos well over 100,000 or 200,000 views, and some of those, like I barely posted them to my feed, or I didn't add hashtags. Like I didn't do all the extra steps, and they're just going viral on Reels because Instagram.
Oh, crazy.
I mean, if you look at the Instagram Explore page right now, it's the first thing you see, and
Yeah,
it
for
takes up
sure.
like 60% of your screen. Reels.
We talk about that like as real estate, right?
Yep.
The real estate of your screen. And I even saw that today when I was doing research on you. I went to the search function or the explore function, and I saw that like half the screen was somebody's in. And then as I'm scrolling through, that same person was again featured a little bit below. Again, just like TikTok's algorithm, they know that if you get into this, like it hits, right? Like it pulls you in. So, great conversation. We're going to get into Q&A. We've got a lot of great questions, but what would be your last thoughts about this whole TikTok, Instagram Reels a conversation, as well as what do you want to leave the audience with that's wanting to create for either one or just one, and how they can, continue to grow it so that they can serve their business.
Yep.
Maybe, they just have a passion, want to connect with people, or they legit want to become an influencer and make it a thing in their life.
Absolutely. I think no matter which one you choose, or if you choose to do both, you have to be consistent. And consistency on these is 3 or more posts per day, 3 or more Reels, or 3 or more TikToks per day. You have to be consistent. The content has to be share worthy. It has to be the kind of thing that your audience is going to want to share.
Yeah.
And then it's recognized that it's has the opportunity to go viral, but it's going to take time. To go
Yes.
viral on Reels and build a big following, or on TikTok, it ultimately will most likely take time to build that solid following. It is possible, but I definitely for right now would say use both platforms and see over the next few months which one takes over and which one ends up winning. I think we'd both agree that it's probably going to be Instagram.
You heard it. I didn't win this debate. I just was on this side. But I do believe that as well. So you guys make sure you go check out Brock's channel, both his Instagram and his TikTok. There's a link for if you guys want to check out all his courses on helping you crush it on your Instagram, right? I think that's where the link was. If you guys want to see all of our interviews about TikTok or Instagram for the VI show, click or tap the screen right here. If you just want to check out all of our content here on Video Influencer to help you crush it with YouTube, click or tap the screen right here.